Hi, everyone. My name is Adriana, founder and CEO of Little Words Project, and this is Words Matter, the show where we interview key members of our community while doing our favorite thing, beating bracelets. Today, we are joined by Joy Woods. Joy is a musical theater force to be reckoned with, from her roles as Catherine Parr in Six, the musical, to Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, to now starring as Middle Allie in the original Broadway cast of The Notebook. Joy's authenticity and magnetic stage presence never fail to captivate audiences. She is nothing short of a rising star, and we are so excited to have her here today. Joy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you. I went into a deep dive of your social media last night where I discovered that you're 25. Almost 25 this year. You will be 25 this year.
Yeah, in December.
Okay, yep. And I felt extremely old as I was doing so because you have accomplished so much at such a young age. What has it been like? What has your journey to the stage been like?
Expedited for sure. I went to school out here at AMDA, and that was about a year and a half, sort of 4-semester type program, and I didn't skip any. I didn't take any breaks, so by the first summer, I was out the second summer, and they just so happened to be auditioning for Little Shop at the time, and I went in and...
Yeah. What has it been like being a young woman, clearly with the gift of, music within you, and, you've been called a true triple threat, and you can dance, you can sing, you can act.
I do my best.
Is your family musical? Like, where did this all come from?
Well, I grew up in church, and I have a lot of siblings, and a few of them took the music track before I did, so them being singers and musicians, music was always around, and my mother was a dancer, so I was in dance classes and wanting to take a dance track when I got older. And
how young were you when you started dancing?
I mean, like the kiddie recitals where your arms are out doing the thing. Maybe kindergarten, and then we took a lot of time away from it, and I didn't start doing it again for real until maybe the end of middle school, and I was on the dance team at my high school. Okay. And then...
It was in you, though.
Yeah.
Because, some people are born with it, and some people, like myself, are not. And it just is what it is. How old were you when you knew this was going to be your future?
Like 16.
Cool. Wow, that's not that long ago.
No, that was the Hamilton year. So Hamilton had just come into my life. I was learning the raps. I was like, I could do this for a living.
And then look at you, 9 years later, less. 7 years, 8 years?
Oh,
I can't do math. That's why I work with bracelets.
9, yeah.
9 years later of something like that. And you're about to play Middle Allie on the Broadway debut of The Notebook.
Can you believe it?
No, I cannot. I mean, I can because
can't.
you exude this within you, right? But so what does that feel like to you as a person, as a young Black woman? I mean, I've seen you talk a lot about this on social media, that you're so proud to be representing a community of people that don't often get put in these roles, right? Or don't often get seen in these types of roles. What does that mean to you?
The first thing that comes to mind when you ask me that is I love Allie so much and myself in that role, in the way that she is a Black woman that is loved for no other struggle, no other circumstance other than who she is. She is just loved because of the person that she is. It doesn't say anything about her beauty. It doesn't say anything. They talk about her brain more than anything, about how smart and sharp she is. And to be able to bring myself to somebody that is just a person and be so loved for an entire lifetime just for being is really special.
That is extremely special.
And the fact that anybody will be able to play it at any time, because race isn't necessarily something that matters very much when the show is cast, because it's so universal. It could be any body falling in love at any time.
That's so special.
Everybody will be able to see themselves and take part in
this
being
role.
loved in that way.
That is so beautiful and so true. Love is the most universal language. Thank you for sharing your perspective on that. One thing we're not doing is beating a bracelet.
Oh my God,
so
you're
why
so
don't we
right.
start that part of the process? Because I'm sitting here like, this is the whole point.
Like, we're getting into it.
We're really getting deep. We got deep already. Okay, so so this is a very full circle moment, as my husband actually reminded me today. He and I have been together, oh my God, since we were 18. I'm 33. I don't know how to do math, but a long time. We met in college, and we had this like one moment of like, are they gonna get together? Are they not gonna get together? A situation. We were best friends, and we were like randomly watching a movie in my dorm room, like on my bed, all kosher, like totally above the board. But it was The Notebook, and some people have said that he kind of resembles Ryan Gosling in a very like, thank you, Lord kind of way. But I never, and to this day, cannot tell you if I fell in love with him because of him or because I fell in love with him while we were watching Ryan Gosling in The Notebook.
Real.
It's so full circle that we're having this discussion, and I'm talking to Allie, and we're beating a bracelet together. So I'm trying to like recall my emotional, like, I love this movie. I love this story. I love this love. So it's very weighted on me right now what's happening, right? So like I'm very like aware. Anyway, that's a very long sidebar. So I have to just enjoy that moment and think, okay, this is a very important bracelet I'm about to make. So you start pulling your beads. Let me be over here in my feelings. Oh my gosh, I'm like very lame about this right now. I have one word that keeps coming to my mind.
And what is it?
It's love. It's too obvious.
Okay.
I need to do better.
Well, why love?
Oh gosh. Because it is what this is all about. It's truly about the truest, purest, undeniable, forever kind of love.
And oh my God, I'm becoming the interviewer.
Take me there.
What is it about the forever in the universe? Like, what is it about love that makes you feel like it's the thing that you can't live without? Aside from your husband looking like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. I think it's safety. I think it's safety. I think it's feeling safe and feeling
held. Or
that's it.
Feeling held.
Feeling held. Just being held. Especially, I think about where I am in my life now. We have 2 little babies. I'm 33. I know he's the COO to my CEO. We do this business together. And it's hard. It's really hard. And it's hard to remember those kids who fell in love. It could bring a tear to my eye. And fell in love while literally just weirdly spooning at like 18 years old, watching this movie on my dorm room bed.
That'll do it.
Being held. That'll do it. And it's really important to remember that, right? Because life is really tough, and it will take you on a ride. And if you don't remember, just the root of love.
Yes. Having those people that, like, sometimes being held, it's like when you're having a panic attack of sorts, and you kind of just need to be swaddled in a way and to be grounded
to feel
and brought
someone's
back
breath.
to yourself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can't do that for
Which
yourself.
he's done for me many times, actually. So, wow. Oh my gosh, Joy, that's the best word ever. Okay, it's held. Oh my goodness gracious. You made your Broadway debut in Six the Musical.
Yes.
What was that like? And does being on Broadway differ from being in an off-Broadway production in any way?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The house is bigger. There are more seats in a Broadway theater than in an off-Broadway theater. So the literal shock of being in front of that many people, you didn't think it would happen being a performer, but it did.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly shaking like a leaf the first night that I performed, which is March 14th, which is the day that The Notebook opens.
Oh, cool.
2 years ago.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, very cool. You think you'll be shaking like a leaf at that opening performance?
Yes, I will.
It's probably got to
absolutely.
be, I mean, that's probably got to be part of the superpower of it though, right? Like
Adrenaline.
Do you harness that energy to like just perform?
Though I think there's another superpower in stillness, and so I try to harness that as much as I can. But
I can tell that in the way you answer your questions. You really do. Stillness is a great word. It's like you can almost feel the weight of you getting it right. And that's really beautiful.
Thank
oh my gosh.
you.
No, it's an incredible skill. Unlike me, who's just exactly.
I don't think I answered that question properly. How was it doing my Broadway debut? I went from playing chiffon in Little Shop, so a girl group of 3 to a girl group of 6. I was trying to really tell myself that so it could be easier, but with the in-ears and with these pop star vinyl costumes with the high heels and the peplum and the hair and the lights and the glam and all these powerful women around me, it was overwhelming. But I think because it was all women and female identifying and non-binary people, like, I felt held. And
you harnessed that power, which there's so much of that.
Feeling like another instance of proving to myself that it was something I could do. I hadn't really sang solo on a stage in New York. Wow. Yet. Yeah. So right. It was a little nerve-wracking.
And that in and of itself has got to be the most nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah, for a first time, for sure.
Yeah. What was the mental weight of knowing that you were on Broadway, put yourself back in the moment where you got the call, you're gonna do the show. What was that feeling like as a woman who was trying to get is that not the pinnacle?
I found out that I got it 10 minutes before a matinee at Little Shop. Wow. It was a 10-minute call, and I was like on the phone with my agents, like, I'm sorry, they're doing the calls over. I can't really hear you. What did you say? Oh, you got 6.
Wow.
Oh, okay, cool, great.
Cool.
It was incredible. I didn't think that at the time I was ever going to make my Broadway debut as a principal, as a singer. I always thought that it was going to be dancing in the ensemble because I thought that was dancing journey was going to be my way into the industry, and that just wasn't the case. And so it has been a constant proving myself right or wrong, either direction.
Being a principal role, now you're about to step into this role of Middle Allie in The Notebook. For those of us who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the show?
Okay, so I want you to think about the movie and the book and just remember love and scrap everything else.
Okay.
This is a fresh new retelling of the classic story that we all know and love.
Okay.
It is a story about, it's a bit of a slice of life, and about what happens when two people that love each other choose each other over and over again, and what can happen, and all the obstacles that life brings, whether it's class or distance or time or even sickness, like Allie's brain leaving her in her later years, and seeing how that pays off when you know what's good for you, when you know what fills you and what you love, choosing that and watching it choose you back. And the span of an entire lifetime of those choices and how they all play out. It's really beautiful.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait. And as someone who is a fan, you know, sometimes people get a little bit upset, right? When things start changing or going differently.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird, sing along.
Right.
I hope that we can make up for it.
You know what? I think that you will. Okay, I was reading an interview that you had done with Broadway World where you provided some advice to aspiring performers. You said that what is meant for you will be for you. If you feel in your deepest part of yourself that this is where you're meant to be, you're right. Sometimes the world will put obstacles, will put walls in front of you simply as a test to see if you can power through and show you that this is where you deserve to be.
Emma said that?
Mm-hmm. That's a
Go me.
Very well done, written thing. I mean, you're so young, right? I mean, not to shine a light on that, but you really have accomplished so much at such a young age. Your formative years have been in the limelight in many ways. What has that been like, and has there been a lot of obstacles that you faced to get here?
Well, I will say that this is my 6th year in New York, 5th going on 6th.
Okay.
And 2.5 of those were spent in a pandemic.
Right.
So I think that like I turned 21 during that time, and when I got to New York, feet on the ground sprinting. So I didn't really get a chance to slow down and grow up and learn some lessons that I needed to learn.
Right.
Until I got a chance to find a real apartment, question who I am and what I stand for, and make mistakes with the people I love. And I'm still making them. But I think in terms of obstacle, I can recognize that besides money, because the world right now, come on, I'm really my biggest obstacle a lot of the time. I stand in my way very often in terms of just how I talk to myself or how I view myself.
Wow.
Or trying to, because things have been so good, so fast for so long,
It becomes
feeling like I deserve it, or feeling like I'm worthy of being there, or feeling like I can live up to whatever standard online is holding me to. Which is why my word is slow down or pause. I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet.
Okay.
Because when I get to thinking and when the gremlins start singing in my head, I forget. And all I need to do is like pause and breathe and just
remember
ground
who
myself.
you are.
Yeah.
What do the gremlins say to you? You don't deserve this.
That I don't deserve this, that I am overrated, that I am not meant to be where I am, that there is somebody out there that was better for this than me. And that's all so silly. It's all so silly, because I do believe that you're supposed to be where you are in the moment. And oftentimes, every time that I've felt that way, I have eventually proven to myself to be wrong, or proven those gremlins to be wrong. And I'm learning that that's just the way that life is going to be for me sometimes, just proving to nobody else but myself that I can do things.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I'm talking a lot about, like, you know, how young you are and how I felt so inadequate last night. But, like, you know, a part of me is just kind of saying a talk track that I know people say, right? Which is like, oh, you're so accomplished at such a young age. And if I were to really, like, shut up my own gremlins, I would look to my 23-year-old self who started this business, right? So I have a lot, I know a lot about what it's like to be young and yet successful early, and building something that other people are like, aw, you know, that's so cute. You're such a baby, and yet look at you go. And, you know, so one, I will apologize to you for making it all about age, because it's not about age. But it is important that you know how far you've come and how incredible you are, because when the gremlins start talking, I'm screaming at the use of gremlins so often in this episode, right?
They're tiny and they're green.
I digress. The gremlins that talk to us negatively in our heads, you know, all we can do is silence them, or all we can do is keep moving against them anyway. Like, they can be there. As long as you keep showing up, you will silence them eventually, simply through the proof day in and day out that you are worthy, right? The more you show up, the more you prove them wrong. And the more you prove them wrong, the more you're able to continue to prove them wrong. That was such a perfect segue into our wellness-focused part of the episode. So one of our pillars at Little Words Project is self-love and self-kindness. We know how difficult that is to achieve. We just kind of touched on that ourselves. What are some practices that you have to show yourself self-love and self-kindness?
Oh, Chad, I'm still working on them. I'm still figuring them out. I feel like when I'm working, I dive into the work as a safety. I feel good when I'm creating, and I do it less for myself. And so in a way, like, I'm getting what I need at work, but when I go home, I'm drained and I don't feel like I've taken care of myself. So I feel like in terms of being young, which I don't think is a bad thing for you to bring up, because I do have to remind myself that all the time. Like, I have time, and it's okay that I'm not operating like a 40-year-old that has their life together.
I don't know a
you
single 40-year-old that has their life together, to be
Okay, that's
honest.
good to know.
I don't think any of us
That's
have
good
our life together. I think we, especially as women, we're always evolving, we're always changing, we're always trying to figure it out, you know? Like, I think your superpower, though, is in your self-awareness now.
I'm trying.
You're doing great. I mean,
Thank
truly.
you.
And that's okay that you don't have it figured all out, right? I mean, I think all you can do is show up how you are and just give yourself love and grace, right? And, you know, to that end, do you have any advice for other young women, younger than you or even older than you, that are still grinding to get that role, right? Or to show up on that stage or to get that job, you know, whatever it might be. What advice do you have for them to silence the gremlins?
Yes, I think to answer more properly the question you just asked and this one, because it's something I also need to hear myself, the people around you is really important. The company
agreed.
you keep is extremely important. The people that are going to hold you and lift you up and make you feel safe and make you feel supported and encouraged. I'm still working on being that for the people in my life, but, you know, aren't we all?
Yeah.
And rest is really important. The people that I have around me remind me that I need to rest often.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's been
Especially
helpful
when
to
you're
me.
go.
Yeah.
I always say that too. You know, it's so important. Like iron sharpens iron. The company you keep and the way that they show up for you in life's difficult moments will make such a difference in how you perceive yourself. And the words we tell ourselves matter, right? And that's something that
Words
we
have power.
words have power. We believe that so wholeheartedly. And to share a little bit of my story, and I started this from a place of really feeling like I needed positivity, positive words in my life. I was bullied from a very young age. I craved positivity. I craved kindness from others. And so that's where this product came to be. It's really meant to be a vehicle of kindness, right? The idea is to wear it for as long as you need it and then pass it on one day to someone who needs it more. So whether it be a perfect stranger or someone you love in your life, what they tell you and how they interact with you and how we relate to one another, I think is everything, right? So I guess all that to say, you know, I agree with you, and it's so important to surround yourself with good people and or to, you know, go out of your way to make someone's day, right?
Yeah.
And give them, because even just the act of giving and showing kindness builds self-esteem and it makes you feel better, right? So I don't know, I think an important note here is to allow yourself to be held, but to also hold, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
And pay attention to how the people around you need to be held. Not everybody is held the same way you are. And I think that's another thing that I'm learning right now, just to really tune in to the people I love, and if they don't have the outright words to say how they need to be held, trying to like
Discern
and continue to give until you get it right. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
And give yourself grace the whole way through.
Child,
Because
yeah.
when I tell you that I love these interviews because, you know, we're talking with such incredible people at the top of their game. A lot of them are in like elite categories, right? I mean, you are a Broadway actress. That is top of the top. Like that is, people aspire to be that for years and years and years. Some never get the opportunity, right? But you have to be at the top of your game to be there. And every single one of them so far has had that same thought of like, we're all just kind of figuring it out, and giving yourself grace is half the battle, right? Trying, going, pushing, but the whole time giving yourself a chance to mess up, to pick back up where you left off, and to just give yourself grace along the way. So I don't know, I think it's a great message to listeners and viewers that ultimately no one has it figured out, not even the top of the top, the creme de la creme of their own game. And that is a really comforting thought, right? Like we can just keep going and keep figuring it out, you know? And if you, Joy, who is about to launch a character into the ether through Broadway, right? I mean, that's a huge reality, is saying, I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. And maybe when I'm 40, you know, it's like, no.
If I'm lucky.
If you could give, obviously we're all about words here. If you could give your younger self one word, one little word bracelet, right, that you needed to look down at to get you through, what would that word be and why?
When I was younger, well, younger, I still had the issue of going too fast or running away from things that I thought didn't want me, being so quick to jump ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, can it be multiple?
Yes, please. You could have a stack. What would that stack say?
I think maybe trust or plant your feet or
Pause.
pause.
It's okay to still have it be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my life has been a bit trial by fire and then ending up, I'm a triple fire sign. And so.
We know it well.
Child. And like things happening fast and well and not getting to pause and be grateful or just be happy that good things are happening. And if they're not, I don't know if that's a Gen Z thing, just like jumping ship and going to the next thing. And
I wouldn't categorize it as that. I think it's just it's a high performer thing. The concept of moving the goalpost, pressure builds. The bigger you get, the more at the top of your game you are, the more you want to just claw to stay there. And that does often mean moving the goalpost and just continuing to push. So
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that and just needing to remember that it's okay to pause and it's okay to like
Look
celebrate.
around,
Yeah,
be
look
present.
around. Okay, so that would be your stack. We love it. If you could give Allie a bracelet, what word would it say and why? Maybe Middle Allie will like specify it to your specific
Totally.
character.
I think Middle Allie's journey is similar to mine in the way that her self-actualization comes in her taking the reins on her life a little bit and not taking so much suggestion or influence from the people around her and just choosing what is right for her based off of what she feels.
Yeah. I mean, she changes the course of her life drastically based on what her intuition, her gut says.
Based off of her feelings.
What
based
she
off
knows
of,
to be right for her.
Yeah. When you
I love
know
that.
what you are supposed to have, if you know anything about yourself, you have to honor that. You can't be persuaded, and that's a place in my life where I'm at. Right. That's a place where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah.
I'm, because I am young and I am the youngest of 6, so like I'm very easily persuaded. I'll change my opinion so quickly on things, and I just need to trust in what I know and what I believe a little better, and to stand on my business. And I think Allie needs to do the same. So I think stand on it.
Stand on
is
it.
what I'm.
Ooh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a really good. There's a lot of great custom word gems in here. Just for anyone listening, looking for inspiration, this is where you're gonna find it. I do really quickly want to talk about the new drip, as we've been calling it. Oh, hey, look at you go! I love it. It says, "If this is love," and this is our collab SKU with the Notebook on Broadway. We are so excited about. Can you just tell us a little bit about this phrase and what it means to the show?
This is a song that younger Allie sings. I hope you remember the very steamy moment in the movie when they're in the ghost house and they're looking at each other in the eyes while they're taking their clothes off. This is her on her way to that moment.
Wow.
Thinking like, I am feeling crazy.
Yeah.
My body is doing things.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about this guy. If this is love, I'm not ready. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I'm so unsteady. Why did nobody tell me that this is what it was going to feel like? I feel crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just the perfect embodiment of
love.
first love jitters. And Jordan Tyson is in it. You fall
I
in love.
can't wait. Oh my gosh, no, the song is amazing. That song is available on Spotify, correct?
It's
right
different
now.
than the way it is in the show.
Okay.
Ingrid sings down.
Okay.
There are two juggernauts of the same song.
Oh,
Very
that's
good
cool.
stuff.
But it's a nice little preview if you're wanting to get a little tantalized. It's launching on Valentine's Day, so be sure to grab it. It's super cute. I absolutely love the style and design, and it's got the little custom collab tag, which is so special.
sweet.
Isn't that cool? My gosh, Joy, this has been so incredible. We appreciate you so much and for kind of bearing your soul with us at the friendship bracelet table, the beating table, if you will. Right, a little ASMR for all you folks out there. Listen a little. We love it. Again, thank you. And we cannot wait to see you in the show. We know you're just going to absolutely bring such a beautiful new life to this character. And we are honored that we get to watch you do it. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yay.